October 8th says, I love you with an everlasting love. The human mind cannot comprehend my constancy. Your emotions flicker and falter in the face of varying circumstances, and you tend to project your fickle feelings onto me. Thus, you do not benefit fully from my unfailing love. You need to look beyond the flux of circumstances and discover me gazing, looking back at you lovingly. This awareness of my presence strengthens you as you receive and respond to my love. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever.
I was in prison when my wife got murdered, my first wife. I kind of lost it. You know, I was up on a level 3 yard in Solano, right next to Vacaville. And I was an angry person. And the best place for me to be was in that prison. Because if I wasn't, I'd probably still be in there today. You know, and then when I got out, I started chasing this person. And I honestly believed that God would never let us cross paths. Because whatever he had planned for me, I think it's setting right here, right now. Although I was in the program for 3 years, so. While I was in the mission, the city came and boarded my house up and threw my wife and kids out on the streets because I wouldn't quit selling drugs there. They went and lived at a friend of ours in the garage while I was in the mission. Just my son, my daughter, my wife. And they pretty much condemned my house. It took me through like 3 years. I think I finished the house while I was in the program about 90 days before I was done to get them back home.
When the county came, they kind of just came to the door and was like, we're shutting, your house is not up to code, we're shutting it down. Or my mom was here, she called me. They were like, you have an hour to get your things together. She moved out. They boarded the doors and windows up.
The things that kept me in there and got me going was them living in that garage, and it was my fault that that's where they were. So I needed to correct that. That was my main focus. To the point where I didn't even care about getting high no more. I didn't care about that. That wasn't what was bothering me. What was bothering me is what I did to them. And they didn't do nothing. I did that. That ain't fair.
Yeah, once he realized that, we're living out of someone's garage, we didn't have nowhere else to go. There was nowhere else, we're all squished in one. Everybody squished in one space. He's like, I need to get my stuff together. I need to do what I have to do for my family. He more thought about it as like, he's not just doing it for himself anymore. He has to do it for us.
When he came to our program in 2010, you could also tell that Paul was done with the old life that he was living, which is a very important ingredient if someone is going to change. They have to be done. And Paul really, really changed. His heart began to really soften. And even though he's rough around the edges, you could see a real big change in Paul's life. The family is restored. He is a model employee. And he has continued to be a blessing to the mission and to the men who are part of the Auto Body Shop.
Well, I started to see the change in him as he was there, like just his character, the way he went about things, the way he carried himself, the way he talked. Now now that when he found Jesus, it helped him a lot, helped him become a better person.
Like I said, I'm a project. It'll never end. It can't never end for me. I mean, it is more important for me to be there to show them guys, like I said, because it ain't about me, it's about them. I need to be able to show them that, there's other things that you can do in life besides dope, robbing, stealing from people, and, build cars. It's why I'm there. Because I don't want nobody else to do what I did. Put theirself through all that misery for nothing.
Hi, I'm Matt Dildine, CEO for the Fresno Mission, and I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Now, it probably wasn't a hard sell being able to turn off presidential debates and Senate confirmation hearings and arguing on every single channel that's on TV. And I hope that you will join us tonight and leave with hope. I hope that you will leave tonight feeling better about what God is doing, not only at the mission, but in our city. This year certainly has been crazy. Tom Brady plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If somebody went back a year ago, you would have never said that this was going to happen. Kobe Bryant dying in a helicopter crash. Kids going to school on laptops, and parents actually now having to learn Common Core themselves. This is crazy. If somebody were to told me that we were be under the circumstances that we are today, I would say this is crazy. This is crazy that everywhere we go, we have to wear masks. This is crazy that businesses have had to be shut down for months and months and months on end. And certainly what has happened to the mission over the last year is crazy. But I'm happy to say that we also get to look into the lives of people every day, to watch transformation happen, and we get to say, this is crazy. I hope that tonight you've been able to hear some of those crazy stories, and I hope that in the future you'll be able to hear those same things. One of the things here that we focus on at the mission, why we're different, is that we focus on transformation through community, because we know that no one is an island. We are not an island in terms of how we help, and we know the people coming to us are not an island in terms of their recovery. They're not an island in terms of their relationships. And as you've seen today, transformation involves more than just the person. It involves the relationships that surround them. The relationships that not only go downstream, but upstream in their life to future generations, and how we're breaking cycles of poverty, of addiction, of a brokenness. And before I came here, I was in our family center, and I was making an announcement about something my family's coming down to do tonight, which is to have an ice cream kind of party tonight. And Paul, one of our most rambunctious 5-year-olds, runs up, grabs my leg, and he screams, he says, I want ice cream, I want ice cream. And I was able to tell Paul, we're giving ice cream to everybody but you, from the sanity of the rest of the people in the mission. Now that's obviously a joke, but I am so happy that as a CEO, I get to do things like work on budgets and do strategic planning, but I also get to help relieve somebody's pain with things like ice cream. And I'm so happy that tonight that you would participate with us in those small things. So we thank you for joining us tonight.
Welcome to the Fresno Mission's Face of the Mission celebration. We've had to get a little creative, do things a little differently, well, quite a bit differently, so we're so glad that you decided to join us. Another event that we had to do a little differently was the graduation. The graduation for the men and the women who have successfully completed our program. We weren't able to gather 1,000 people in a room like we have in the past. But we still wanted to give them that proud moment, that moment to celebrate with their families. So as we did things a little differently, a little bit more intimate, what I began to notice and see were the smiling faces, the proud mom and dads, and the restored relationships. One mom followed her son wherever he went so she could get that proud moment, that perfect picture. I want you to see those faces of those men and women. So these are the faces of those people that celebrated and graduated that night.
if you meet her, if you see her, if you hear her, she just lights up a room with everything that she says, and she becomes our cheerleader. Now that she is employed with us, and now she's serving women where she knows where they're coming from. She knows their emotions and the things that they're going through. She is their biggest cheerleader. She cries with them, she laughs with them, she walks with them. And it's neat to see how God has transformed somebody.
So my name is Rashida Carter, and I'm a case manager at Rescue the Children. I've always loved helping people. Like, I knew that I was gonna do something in social work and counseling and life coach, something helping people. Through my journey in my life and my trauma, my addiction, my pain, losing my purpose, my identity in relationships. I got to a place where I was tired of just existing. I was like, another year passed. Oh my goodness, is it Christmas again? Oh, you know, I literally when you're in addiction or a chaos that you're in, whatever it is, literally the days become like muddied. So many dark nights, so many dark days, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I don't like to say I lost my son, but I did lose my son. He decided to stay with his dad. I didn't see my son for 3 years. My family was nudging at me, and they kind of like dropped me off at Rescue the Children. And I said, no, not doing this.
Rashida was dropped off unwillingly. She didn't want to come to Rescue the Children. In fact, she was really angry. She felt abandoned by her family. And I remember speaking to her and just trying to encourage her and letting her know that the reason why she was there wasn't because she had failed, but it's because she had people who loved her and wanted a better life for her. She stayed with us for about 3 weeks the first time. She had some health issues and she was able to stabilize herself. And then she decided to leave. And I remember that when she left saying, I'll be back. And sure enough, 1 month later, she called and she said, I'm ready. I want to go back.
But I knew I had found where I needed to be. And I came back, and I have not left since. Because I knew, like I had, it was time to answer the call. Through this journey, I've learned so much. I'm learning more and more every day. I learned so much. But this is definitely a unique gift that God has given me to be able to be employed at Rescue the Children, have went through Rescue the Children, to be on both sides. And I don't take that for granted. But to literally come alongside someone, you're having those moments. It's so beautiful when I'm facilitating the class, or I'm in case management, or I'm just engaging with a woman, and it's like, and the light bulbs go off, and it's not of me, it's through Christ. That woman begins to see herself, her identity, her worth. She begins to see like the world through a different lens, not as a victim or as somebody's sex object. Yeah. And I feel like the women, they come for different reasons, and that's such the beauty of what we do, because you have ones that come because CPS. We have families that come because they're homeless. We have families that come because their family dropped them off. We have, and their family is like, oh, they're safe. We're called according to His purpose to walk it out, to live in it. And then all that addiction, that rape, that molestation, that sexual abuse, the addiction, the domestic violence, it becomes like, working it out. Oh, I'm using it. Oh, my testimony. To be able to continue healing and through Christ help people heal. it's incredible.
You know, one of the most important things about our organization, one of the narratives that we talk about, is moving things from the transactional to the relational. As we try and transform people through community, it's moving every aspect of what we do, from the meal that we serve, from the blanket that we give out, from the room that we sit in when someone's crying with us, that we're moving everything from the transactional to the relationship. You know, and even as we are asking tonight for you to walk alongside us, we want to encourage you to give to us tonight because your dollar is not transactional, it is relational. That dollar leads to a bed for a kid who has found himself homeless. That dollar leads to restoring a woman who's homeless or through a child who's going to be taken away from her. That dollar helps support somebody who, instead of living on the street, smoking things they shouldn't smoke, ingesting things that they shouldn't ingest, putting things in their arms they shouldn't, living lives of destruction and relationships that are foiled, it leads to a life of abundance, of hope. And that hope was provided by people that are just like you. So tonight, one of the things that we want you to know as we ask for you to help us on our mission is that your dollar, that which you give to us, is not transactional. It is very much relational. So tonight, we thank you for donating to the Fresno Mission, for donating to the transformation of lives, and to donating to a future that is definitely crazy.
As we did things a little differently this year, we were able to really share our story. Now you have the opportunity to be a part of that same story. Thank you for spending your time with us as we celebrate the Face of the Mission.